Hello. Whew. Okay. Hi, everybody. Before I even get started with anything, let me just hop right into it. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the stream. I hope everyone's having a good morning. Thank you for coming. Today we're going to be drawing mouths, but before that, in case you didn't know, our growing community is filled with tons of art nerds, and we art nerds have to stick together. If you're an art nerd too, be sure to check out the links in our social. Whew. Okay. Ugh. Uh-oh. No! Did they get cut off? Ugh. Hello? Hello? Golly. Hello, hello, hello. Well, in any case. Alright. Clearly, there's still stuff to be sorted out, but I'll get to that, I guess. But anyways, hi everybody, hope everybody's having a good time. Today we're going to be drawing mouths. So, because I have a like semi-realistic style when I'm drawing, I will be I think I will start off like explaining a little bit more of like the realistic side of drawing before I get into simplifying it, just because I think it's easier that way. And also, you know, just because it's like a I will be drawing like mouths. If there's like people who aren't really in the audience who are a bit squeamish about that sort of thing, might want to sit this one out. But in other news, besides that, we'll just get started. I think the way I'll do everything is I'm gonna go over with like the how to draw teeth, because I think that's kind of like the foundation of like the mouth. And then after that, I'll probably go in and draw the lips, because the lips, that's the name of the game here. That's where all the emotion, like expressional stuff is gonna be. And then we'll just go and combine them into a mouth so that you guys can draw happy, sad, angry, whatever mouths for your characters. So that should be fun. So teeth. Okay, so in the meantime, let's see. So these are some teeth, I guess, that I drew really quickly before stream. I just wanted to go over a little bit of like how like I guess the anatomy quote or whatever of them. You don't have to worry about like, you know, drawing this at the moment. We can like go over it ourselves at some point after. So I just wanted to point out, in general, the teeth, human beings have around, like adult, I guess, human teeth have about 32 teeth in total. I know, it's like numbers. So there's going to be 16 at the top, 16 at the bottom, more or less. But the important ones are the ones like around here, because those are the ones that are going to be seen the most. So you don't really have to count, like making sure like every single like tooth back here like lines up to 16 or whatever. But in general, an easier way of considering it might be just like, I think generally you'll see like 7, like if you're just looking, it will be like maybe about, I think 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. Oh, about, and then 1, 2, 3, 4. So generally you want to like just kind of remember these ones, so that there's about 6 on the top, and then about more or less 7 or 8 on the bottom. And these are going to be called, I'll just like color them out for you. You have like the canines here. These are the ones that I think everybody really likes. You know, that's like, these are the ones that like people who like to draw monsters, who like to draw like vampires, These are the canines. So these are the ones that you're gonna elongate if you're gonna be drawing werewolves or vampires or monsters or things like that. Perfect for Halloween, I think. Let me just lower this a little bit. And then there's gonna be I think, the rest of the teeth really. Which are, I think these are the incisors. These are basically the ones that I think have the most like character, I say, not to be biased against like other teeth. But these are the ones that I think people will probably use the most for their characters, for adding variation and things like that. Yeah, fangs are really cool. I love fang people too. Oh, also, yes. If, you know, D&D enjoyers out there, fantasy enjoyers, if you like drawing like orcs and stuff, like the bottom, like these canines are what will be the tusks, right? Like pop out. So that's gonna be pretty fun for people who like that sort of thing. So these are the incisors. And then these are the canines. Fangs. And then like pretty much everything else. They're like the other ones are like the molars. But you know, they're just kind of there. Just know that they exist. Know that at some point they should like add up to 16 on each row of teeth, more or less. Like, you know, don't sweat it if it's like you're missing one or whatever. Very general. And the molars generally. Okay, so we have all of this. So these are the teeth. And now something, when we're drawing teeth, I did want to go over that a little bit, just so you guys aren't completely lost. But so this is the sort of like, I guess, level of detail I would expect if you're wanting to draw something a little bit more realistic. Of course, we're not all that type of person, so I'm sure you've seen like ways of simplifying. Particularly in like anime. Although I do think some anime have been getting a little more fang ear. Like, if you know what I mean. Particularly in anime, you'll see things like say you have like somebody's mouth here, and then they'll just be drawing like this sort of white bar. Like so. This is a very valid way of simplifying. Is it echoing? I think there was an echoey issue last time, but I have to go and like check everything out again. Okay, that's good. Thanks, guys. I think there's also like a really good what's it called? Middle ground that I like to do sometimes cause like honestly drawing like the teeth out like this is really time consuming, and I don't think it's worth it if you're not if the image isn't really focused on like somebody's face. But something I like to do is to just sort of add in like the little gum like gum lines like so. Just a little bit like that. And then like if I really want, maybe also the canines as well. Like shaping the teeth a little bit. Like that. I think this... It's like good enough, I think, sometimes. If you just want to add like a little bit of stuff. Because like I think adding the little like gum corners, the gum lines or whatever, it helps sort of imply the division of teeth. Because I think if you did draw teeth like this, hold on. If you did draw teeth something like this, I feel like it works for a certain type of character design, but not necessarily like all of them, right? So I think this one is like, you know, a good middle ground. Generally, I think people tend to avoid drawing like the lines between the teeth because it's kind of too detailed. Like it draws a lot of attention to it because in general in art, there's like this concept called high contrast, where if things are really different placed next to each other, it's really going to show off. And the most easiest, I guess, concept of that is just like black and white together. So in the case with like these teeth, like black and white together, it really like kind of looks kind of funky. So good for type of character. A kind of and distracting. In most cases, generally. So like not always as usual. I think this is a good middle ground between like detailed and like simplified. Like so. I do not have siblings who bother me when I draw, but I do have cats, which are arguably much more successful at it. I usually draw teeth like that for scary character designs. I think it works. Yeah, I think it's unsettling. I feel like I think when you're like looking at people, like if you look at real pictures of teeth, or if you like look at somebody smiling in like a sort of like picture, the line between your teeth is not usually so dark unless like something is off. So I think this is just like, it's like good for unsettling kind of things. I don't know if you guys are the same, but I feel like artists tend to have either really, really, really great handwriting or really bad handwriting. My handwriting, I think, is a little bit could be desired, I guess. Oh, I didn't get a proper introduction. What's your name? It's Vanessa. I don't know if you can see, like, hopefully this is also showing, but there should be like a little avatar on the screen that has my name on it and the website. That's how you can tell who's streaming at the time. The other streamers tend to have it as well. I think they do. Okay, thank God. Oh. Alright, so. Little more notes about the teeth when we're drawing teeth. I did call like those ones like white bars, but I think it's not actually a very good way to... let me just draw some in. So these sorts of teeth, I call them white bars, but I think the more accurate term would actually just calling them white bands, because even though they seem like strips, they're more like teeth are curved because they are part of like the skull. So I guess, and part of the skull that like and this is a skull. So the way the teeth are, that they are attached to like, you know, this sort of structure. Yes, perfect skull. So they're actually more like these like strips, like so. I actually, okay, so you know, funny enough, I think you could, it's actually easier to think of them as dentures more than like just bars, because that's kind of how they are. Curved bands. Oof, this handwriting. Teeth are attached to the skull. So I think it's easier to, if you like think of it like this instead. And one thing also to note is that because the top teeth are stuck to the skull, then they are stationary, so they don't move. So in most cases, so let's see, like, you know, you have a smile, or you have like, I guess a, like, I don't know, angry thing. You'll notice that generally you'll see the bottom of the teeth. You'll see a little bit of the top, but usually this is because like you're looking up and not because the teeth is, the top row of teeth is actually moving. Just stuff you have to like, whoops, not going. Whew. The top teeth tend to be like, if you extend it, it'll be like, it'll generally be stationary, but then it's the bottom jaw that's like opening out. Kind of like, I guess, what's a good analogy for this? Like a can you're opening upside down. You know, if it's like you have a, if for people who have pets, if you have like a can and then you just peel it open Is this anything? Sadly, all of my analogies are pet related, just because that's always what's on my mind. What art program do you use? I use, right now I'm using Clip Studio Paint. Sometimes I use Krita or Procreate for other stuff, like for fun. Like so. Okay, what else? Oh yeah, right, okay. I also wanted to note that I drew this stuff here. Let me see if I can bring that down. So this is my set of realistic teeth again. So even though like we went through all this trouble, like, you know, figuring out how to draw teeth and like what they look like individually, I hope that I want you guys to like kind of notice that we actually, like, when the lips go over the teeth, we actually don't see very much of it. So it's kind of like interesting. If we did see too much of it, if we keep moving this around, it can get kind of like weird if we just see like too much of one tooth or like too much of both. Generally, I think something like this amount of visibility is good enough. Or like when people smile, often I think like people generally like will smile or talk like this as well. Stuff like that. So something like this, we don't really see too much. I just thought that was interesting. It's because the lips, of course, are there to cover your teeth. They're there to protect your mouth, things like that. And your teeth are bone, so they stay mostly the same, while your lips are made of flesh and muscle, so they can like move around it in a lot of different ways. And we will get into that, which is right. Surprisingly, teeth are not overly visible. Once lips are drawn over them. I do think that, in particular, let's see, if I wanted to duplicate this. I think something really fun for like if you want to emote a little bit more, in particular, the more teeth you show, I feel like is like indicative of like, I guess, aggression. Maybe not with smiles. I think smiles are kind of, actually, it's like kind of specific to humans, I think, because in most other animals, if they show their teeth, if they bare their teeth, that means like, grr, we're gonna throw hands or something. But for humans, well, like, if we smile, it's like, hey, we're gonna shake hands or something, right? So, but it still like holds true if we're like, I don't know, if we're like particularly angry and we're like, oh dang, like the heck did you say about, I don't know, like what'd you say about my favorite food in the world that you hated? Well, gonna mess you up. And then what we'll do, whoops, do like some sort of skin tone. I will get into drawing lips really soon. If we like show more teeth, I feel like it looks pretty like, it looks kind of gnarly. I mean, it kind of looks like something's about to go down. See what I mean? The more teeth we show. Let's see. Smiling can be an exception, however, I do feel like, I'm sure you guys have read like, you know, like manga where they're like, of course you have like, you know, the cute, gentle, like, you know, smile like so, versus like, you know, these kinds of smiles where it's like where like people do put like more detail into the teeth, really wide, like I guess almost predatory smiles. The more detailed you put, more detailed teeth you put in, I think also like makes it a little bit more, a little bit spookier. Or like, you know, those smiles that are just like, I don't know if you guys have like ever read D. Gray Man, but they have like this particular smile that's like that, you know, like really spooky. So those are teeth for us for the moment. Let me just, let's see, like this? Yeah, okay. Let me drag teeth down here. Okay. Next we're gonna do some lip stuff. Goodbye. Alright, so for lips, I think this is what everybody wants to learn. So lips go over the teeth, which we all know, hopefully. But this, like, you know, so it goes over the teeth, but this means it wraps around the teeth. So it follows the form of the teeth. In its neutral position. So what do I mean by neutral? I just mean like if you're not doing anything particular with your teeth. So like we saw before. Oof. About something like that. So we have like, you know, our teeth. Our skull. I probably should have mentioned this in like the previous, like the thing about teeth, but the teeth actually also jut out. They're not like flat. So, for example, so this is wrong, not flat. The teeth curve, and because they curve, they also like pop out a little bit. What is the word that says it? Is it concave? Convex? Concave is in, right? Convex is out. So convex? Okay. Pops out. Like so. So, because we have this sort of this underlying curved form underneath where the teeth are, the lips are going to be the same. So that means generally it might seem a little funky, but I'm sure if you turned like yourself into profile and like either took a picture or looked in the mirror, you'll see that your lips do kind of protrude out a little bit. And the upper lip tends to be, in most cases, it protrudes out a little bit more than the bottom lip, so it'll be like a sort of diagonal. Like, I guess if we zoomed in here. Upper lip. Protrudes more. And like with the neutral. Hopefully that makes some more sense. Just about the general placement of the lips. Is it okay to take a break on drawing when you're tired? Yeah, of course. You'll learn better when you're more refreshed anyways. And it should be fun. Or at least, like, if it's not fun, you should at least be not suffering when you're doing it, I think. Because sometimes, you know, if you're like working professionally, sometimes you're just tired, like you're just tired, right? But it's still not like, I think if it's some, like, as long as it's not painful and it's not like causing mental anguish, you know, it's totally like, that is when you can keep drawing. But if you are suffering, then just take a break. Lips are some of the hardest things for me to draw. They just turn out like sausages that don't look right. Yeah, they can get pretty difficult. We'll get into that like next. So if we want to draw lips, I think in particularly with like anime styles, it is not necessarily a bad habit, but because I really like this like style, I guess, but it is, I think it can be difficult to like swap around your way of thinking because lips are kind of almost non-existent in some anime styles. Some of them are very good with it, but I feel like in shonen they tend to be they skimp off on it a little bit. That's fine because that's usually like they don't need to worry about like how somebody's lips looks when they're like, I don't know, bouncing around the screen like punching people. But I feel like this can give the impression that the lips are flat or that they're very thin, when in reality lips are more like they have like an edge to them. They are like fleshy bands, I guess. Here's to describing lips in the most unappealing way possible. But lips actually have like form, like so. And they are like, they protrude out, right? Like what we said, like for here and stuff. So lips have form. And it is like skin that is like, your lips aren't attached to your teeth. They aren't like fused to your gums or anything exactly. So, if you like, that's why we have such a large range of movement for our mouths. So we can like, do some like, we can stretch them, like we can make them like, we can pucker them up. We can like pull them back really wide. So we have like, I hate saying it like this, but lips can move independently. That makes it sound like they're alive. This is my first time visiting this channel. Welcome. Wide range of movement. In general, I think the main I guess anatomy bits of lips, if we have one here, it would be, let's see, let me just, so it might be, if for people who like put on makeup, it might be a bit easier to think to label it in makeup terms. So up here, this thing here, this is called the Cupid's bow. Let me see if I can just, I don't know like the specific scientific terms for these, I admit, but we have the upper lip usually. So we have our upper lip. Whoops. So do we get stressed out easily when we try to practice art? Is there another way to improve art without getting stressed out? I feel like a healthy amount of stress is fine, but like you shouldn't be like crying or like having anxiety over it, I think. That speaks to like an underlying issue. Of course, I'm not a therapist, so do not take my words for like gospel. Generally, I think art should be ultimately fun. There should be something about the process of drawing that is fun for you. Whether it's like, you like the act of drawing or you like showing your drawings to people, that's a totally valid form of like, just like, acknowledgement and like motivation, like motivation behind why you want to draw better. Or maybe you want to draw like your OC's kissing or something. I don't know, right? Like, it could be any reason. But ultimately, I think the best way to improve without feeling too stressed is to focus on one thing at a time. So even if you want to get better, like in general, that's like too big of a topic to tackle on your own. So you just want to like pick one thing, like I am going to get better at drawing hands. So you just draw a lot of hands for a little while. You don't have to draw just hands. You can draw like other things, and then just pay particular attention to how you draw hands until you feel like you have done enough. And then whenever you feel like you're about to like, I guess, when it gets to the point where you're not enjoying art anymore, I think it's important to sort of look back and think of what exactly about art and drawing do I really like the most, and what am I doing right now that is taking away from it. It could be you're just tired. It could be you haven't eaten or you haven't drunk anything that day. Things like that, but are easily solvable. Or it could be something more like philosophical, like actually what I want to do is sculpt, not draw. Or what I actually like doing is writing or telling stories, not drawing itself. Or like I like colors but not drawing itself. I like designing but not maybe drawing itself. And then like you can just focus your path in that direction as you see fit. Does that make sense? That was a tangent that I went on. Okay, so this little bloom thing is called the filter. Some people like to include it. A lot of people don't. I think it's no problem either way. I do think it's really cute. So I like to occasionally like suggest it. If not, like sometimes I don't draw it, like I won't draw it in with like a hard line, but I might color it in a little bit because I think it's just so cute. And then we have the top lip. And then we have the lower lip, of course. And then we have usually like the chin. Where the chin starts. Okay, so this sort of like shape here that I just like kind of drew out, or let's see, better color. There is like a general, like this is where like the mouth protrudes, I guess. So you know how like over here, I was talking about how like the mouth protrudes. This is kind of like the shape that it will like, the form of like the mouth piece, the mouth part, I guess. This is, I think, the shape of where the mouth muscle is. That's why it's like protruding even more, because it's like this muscle over your teeth. I think it's called the orbicularis oris. I'll just. This is the orbicularis oris. In case you guys like want to Google it or whatever. So this shape of mouth. So this is generally like what you want to include when you are drawing. For particular, like if we want to get even more detailed, there tends to be like, you know, like 1, 2, 3, and then these sorts of like circles, not circles, but like pads of like flesh that's like generally over here. So like pads of flesh or something. So that's usually how the lips are going to be like divided in like a realistic lip. As you can see, like in this simplified version, like there's like none of this stuff. So this all like, it's not mandatory, it's just stuff that in case you want to, if you're just curious. Oh, also side note, I guess, that I should include as well. So that's the nose. This is just how it looks like from the side, so you guys kind of know what the planes are like. So hopefully this is like a little bit more clear, because this is not flat. There's a lot of like directional things going on, these planes. Let's see. And this is just where like, you know, the chin is. So it goes in, out, like so. Something cute for like, in particularly for these like simplified ones, is when like they sort of do like both. Usually it's when like, usually in like a 3/4 view where they'll draw something like so, some sort of like face angle. And then they have like a little bit of the lip. Like that. And you can color in the corners of the mouth to like sort of imitate or like indicate shadow for the teeth and stuff. Like so. Many simplified styles. Oops. Don't crash, please. Is it visible? Like so. Okay. This is gonna be fun to organize. Okay. When we're coloring lips, we can do, oh, before we do coloring lips, varying lips, which I can also color. Varying lip shapes are good for character design. You know, sometimes you can have really like thick lips, like so. Or very thin lips. I think it is a stylistic choice as well that can serve you very well in character design, like depending on what sort of like, whether you draw in the lips or not, like if you just draw like somebody's teeth like this, right? And then you don't really put that much detail on anybody's particular, on their lip or whatever. I think that also has its own like kind of appeal to it. Let's see. Give me 1 second. My cat's sitting on my desk. Oof. Sorry, baby. Okay. When you're coloring lips, I think it is pretty much you can pretty much do whatever you want, because we also have like, you know, makeup. So our lips can pretty much be like whatever color we want. I know a lot of people tend to like the color like two-toned lips, or like very glossy, very like shiny lips. How would you go about drawing a mouth on a robot? Well, it depends on like what kind of like how did the robots creator design a mouth. I don't know if you guys are familiar with the game Destiny. So they have something called exos, which they are supposed to be basically just, they're like androids basically, but they don't really have very good mouths. They're like just hinges, really. Not hinges, but like they're just they open and close, and that's about it. They don't have lips, they don't have like fake like skin or anything. Things like that. And then let's give this coloring a try. So, when we're coloring lips, generally, I feel like you can do a lot of different things. You know, some people could be wearing makeup, but we'll just try to do like something not as like extreme, I guess. Because with makeup and like really wild colors, you can pretty much do whatever you want. Who's to say like that's not how you know, who's to say that's not how blue glitter lips should look, right? I know most people, what they like to do, a lot of people enjoy like doing coloring in the top lip as like a darker color than the bottom lip. I think that's also really cute. I think that's what they did sometimes with like Kim Possible, which was one of my favorite shows growing up. And what I think most people forget when they're coloring lips is that, of course, lips have form. So they are rounded, they are not like flat colors that are painted on. They have like, they do have like this sort of edge to them that I think adding will make your lips look much more juicier than you might have thought you wanted. I also loved Kim Possible and Totally Spies. And this is The bottom lip can be a bit paler, depending on what I want to do. And then here I'm going to include the philtrum. Yeah, something like that. The philtrum is like a very stylistic thing, I think. Sometimes I think it looks really cute. But it is your choice, of course. And I think it is generally like, it can pair well with the nose. Perhaps. Would you say redrawing a reference to learn is cheating, or is literally anything with references cheating? No, I don't think so. References are there to help you, like everybody uses them. Professionals use them because when you're working professionally, anything kind of goes. I shouldn't say that. It's not that anything goes. It's more like you have less time to devote to doing things by hand. So like, for example, if your client or whatever wants you to draw like clients I don't think are usually this nice about it, but they might be like, say you have like a commission and then it's something like, I want you to draw my character and my character looks like Kim K, right? And they give you like a photo of her. And well, like what's like, I don't think anything's wrong with using like that photo to like try and like copy the, like use as reference to try and copy the likeness down of the character. Like, you know, that's fine. I think what people can get into a trap to is over relying on one reference. So for example, there's like, so the reason why references are important is because like they're it's information and it's there for you to basically like absorb and pick through, right? Like if somebody's posing holding a, you know, like a sword pointing at you, then you don't have to go through like the mental gymnastics of like figuring out how does the skeleton look in this pose? How does the muscles on top of the skeleton look in this pose? How does that look when I apply perspective to it? And all that stuff, right? Because you have it there. Excuse me. So, like, why not use it, right? But I think the issue is, with most people, well, with like some people, I guess, is that sometimes like you'll have like a reference that's just like something like this, right? Because it's like, I want to, you know, like your client is like, I want a picture of somebody standing like this. And you're like, okay, so you find a picture of someone standing like this, and then you just do that. Like, you just use one reference, and then to do like your own thing, which is still fine. I think this is perfectly acceptable. But I think it would help people more. So like I do want to reiterate, this is not wrong. But I think it would help you more if, like, say somebody's like, you know, I want to draw a superhero pose, but then you'll find, like, you can either shoot your own reference, or you can do this thing where you Frankenstein multiple pieces of different pictures together to create your reference from scratch. So say, like, you know, I want, like, a superhero, like, you know, like, I want a Superman pose like this, right? Kind of like flying or whatever. And it's like, well, it's difficult for reference stock photo guys to take a picture of themselves flying. So you might, from one picture, get a angle of somebody's head like that, right? And then from another picture, you'll just have like somebody's like muscular body, like right here, because like that's what you want for like your superhero. And then maybe you need like you'll find like you may not find somebody like in this pose, but you'll find somebody's arm like in another pose, like sort like just kind of holding like their fist up like that. And then you can like use all of these together and make your own reference, and then make your pose from that, right? And I think that might help you learn a little bit more. And it also helps you not get caught, I guess, when you're like doing work, because a lot of the times, if you guys do a lot of like life drawing, and you've seen like other artists like post their life drawing, like their online life drawing studies, you'll see that like after a certain point you'll recognize the poses and like which life drawing websites they've been visiting, because we all use the same thing. So I feel like when you Frankenstein your own reference images like that, it gets like people are not able to tell as much. I mean, if that matters to you, I guess, you know. And of course, nothing beats taking your own reference, taking pictures of yourself and stuff, because then, you know, then it's like you can do whatever you want with those. Does that make sense? Hopefully that did. Hopefully I wasn't just going too wild. Where are my paintings? Ah, here. Okay, so when we're painting some of our lips, okay. So when we're painting, just using whatever I have, hard round. So like I said, lips have an edge. They aren't just flat. Like this isn't just like that. Lips are rounded, so they go like this sort of. Let's see, maybe I can speed this up. Things like that. And let's see. There's also a slight, because like this area is like, this is, remember how I said like this is how the lips sort of like protrude? Because there's a curve around here, the top is going to be a little bit more like softer, like that sort of. And then it's the same over here. And let's see. We can blend this out a little bit, just for some cuteness. And these colors will probably vary depending on like whether like, you know, how much makeup they're wearing, things like that. I think adding a little bit of like a colder color might pop this out a little bit as well. And then there's also usually like some highlights. Usually it's like kind of like a little bit of reflected light, I feel like. I feel like painting is always difficult because it just takes a lot of time and there's a lot of trial and error. Do you guys tend to like draw a lot of like cel shaded stuff or painting? And then the fill trim here has also some reflected light. And then maybe for some highlights, depending on what you like. Adding some color might be cute as well. I think highlights do tie things together a little bit more. Maybe a little bit darker. It's also a makeup technique, I don't know if you guys know this, to put like these sorts of like a little bit of dark lines just like around like the edge of your mouth when you put lipstick on to, I think it's just to make your lips look a little bit sharper or cleaner. And I think that also like holds pretty well for when you're trying to paint them, like just adding a little bit of dark at the ends. I think it also looks very cute, but that's just me, of course. So there's some, let's see, these are like my highlights and stuff, but I think I could go a little bit. Maybe if I add a little bit more texture. see if this works out or not. Like that. Blend it a bit. Welcome back, Kyrie. Alright, so there's like one, I guess. Oh, alright. Let's see if I can finish the others. So this is like, you know, its own style that like, just like the cell shade style that you guys can just finish with. I feel like this is fine already. Like something like that. But of course, everybody has their preferences. Lips, of course, follow their own sort of, you know, according to like shadows and stuff of the picture that you're drawing. Maybe I should add some chin shadow. I don't want it to be this blurry. Yeah, sometimes it's really easy to over-render. And that's usually what kills a painting, I feel like. Maybe this is a little bit bigger. Hi, Melody. It's 12:15. Does Vanessa draw sitting up or sitting down? I draw sitting down. I want to get a standing desk. I want a standing desk so bad. I want to draw standing up. I think it would help my back a lot more. But it's spency, so I just haven't really... you know, that's a dream for future Vanessa. So some darkness here. There's a little bit of a sort of, not protrusion, a divot in your bottom lip, sort of. It wasn't actually, I should actually add it here perhaps, but it's what gives people that like kind of pouty look, you know? But I think this was fine as well. We'll see. Then some highlights perhaps. Something nice for... Remember how I said there was a little bit of darkness on... Because this is where like the skin curves upward, because it's like that's where the protrusion is. It's also really nice to add some highlights underneath that. So after I do like this sort of this sort of thing. Might need to knock it back a little bit. Whoops. After I knock it back, it's also nice to add this little highlight at the bottom. Personally, I think it looks kind of cute. Like that. Like so. Knock this back a little bit more. The fill trim, of course, also has a little bit of what's it called? Reflection? Shading? I love drawing eyes. Yeah, that's really... Eyes are pretty fun. They're, you know, how do they say it? Window to the soul. I'm gonna add some gloss. The top is a bit much. That's fine, I think. Okay. Yeah, I used to like drawing eyes, but I feel like they really make or break the drawing. I agree. They're difficult. I think they can be really really fun for like people who like to draw like more portrait stuff. I don't actually like to draw a lot of portraits. I try to draw a lot more like full body stuff, and the eyes are too small for me to like go in and like, you know, you see like those anime artists who draw really pretty eyes where they just have like whole like galaxies inside like the like, you know, their eyeballs and stuff, and I always think those are so pretty, but I don't have like, my style just doesn't suit for it, sadly, which makes me so sad. Also use this like knowledge of this protrusion to sort of figure out where like the wrinkles might be, sort of. The wrinkles will connect around like here, like right here, like so. But you know, sometimes you don't want to draw like such a thick line, so you'll just end up painting it. You can knock it back, of course, if you feel like it's too much. And I feel like that's just an easy way to add some more painty stuff. The illusion of depth to your art. Knock it back, like so. Weird core. I've never heard of that. Do I want to know what that is? Hi, Luna. Hello, Astrid. Oh, I see. I see. Those are fun. The song is, I'm not quite sure, but it's part of a collection. It'll be linked in the description. And then of course we have our teeth showing in this one. Your mouth actually can get pretty dark, so you don't have to worry about being afraid of the shadows or anything. And you don't want to use like ultra white for your teeth either. You want to stick with something a little bit more yellow or off-white, because if you put white on it, you'll see it's actually really quite bright. You want to save it for your highlights, you know? Or some cute stuff like that. The white of the eye is called the sclera. I'll type it. I don't know if that's how it's pronounced. And there's the teeth. Okay. The teeth. Hehe. And of course, we can always fool around with the line art layer to see if it looks nicer. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. Maybe some lighter mouth. As you can see, different lines can give different effects. If I also lighten the teeth line, it could also be pretty interesting. Okay. And then if we want to add like some extra oomph, we can always put some sort of like, what's the word for it? Rim lighting? I always think that's fun. Depends on how we use it, of course. Maybe just normal. Maybe blue. Maybe yellow. Maybe like other colors are too extreme. Like so. I think this is cute. Eraser stuff. Okay. Thank you, Kyrie. Welcome back to okay, so I think that's it for I think we're out of time now, but thanks so much for coming. It was really nice to see you all. Thanks again for everybody's kindness and patience always with my technical issues. I'll try to get all that stuff resolved ASAP. But yeah, I hope you guys learned something, and I hope I see you guys again next Sunday. Next Sunday is gonna be Iggy, I believe, and we always have streams on Friday, so yeah. Alright. Oh crap. Okay, alright. I'll see you guys later. Goodbye.